So first, we will begin with the provincial population, which is as seen in the lower left. You have the increasing population. So from based from the last two data, you have 2015, which is 2,938,982 in population. And then on 2020 of May, we have an increase of 2.63%, which is now 3,325,385 in population. And then we will proceed to the city population above it. So as you can see, we have Cebu City and Mandaue City having an increase of trend in population. So for Cebu City, you have an increase of 0.93%. So from 2015 of August with 922,611 in population, we have an increase of 964,169 in population. And for Mandaue City, it isn't a great increase, but it's still from 362,654, it has increased to 364,116. And so now we will proceed to the barangay population. So although the city population and the provincial population has been increasing, we noted that in Barangay Banilad, both in Cebu City and Mandaue City, the population has been decreasing. So as seen from in the Barangay Banilad, Cebu, from the 2010 with 9,903 in population, it decreased to 7,890, which then further increased in 2020 to 6,336. This is a negative 4.51% decrease in population. And then in the Barangay Mandaue, it is seen that from 22,771, it decreased to 18,386 in population. So we with that, we also checked with the zoning. So this, as you can see, this is the barangay zoning that we have made. So a lot a lot of the areas in Barangay Banilad is residential, followed by commercial, and then institutional. And so, as you can see, the Barangay Banilad Cebu has a great area of residential. And for the Barangay Banilad Mandaue, it is more or less residential, but like it's starting to become commercial spaces. So that's why we think that is one of the reasons for the decrease already in population, because these areas which used to be residential are now being turned to commercial spaces, which is like a usual trend already, especially now with like people wanting to grow in their business, so they want to have commercial spaces. And so with that, I will now call on my groupmate Carrie, who will discuss the urban problems on traffic congestion in Barangay Banilad.
Okay, so as mentioned by Joy, since there are a lot of commercial spaces in Mandaue City, the Banilad there, there's the red portions in the map are where like it's very like heavily congested with traffic. So usually, in my personal opinion, like from my observation, like every morning, coming out from the intersection of what do you call this, a streetscape and the overpass in Caltex, it's usually very kanang traffic in the morning. So when there's like a sitom, it's usually kanang mitigated na, but sometimes the sitom isn't always there like consistently. So then like no one like gives way, so that it causes congestion, and that's why it becomes so traffic towards the country mall area, and also like towards the like Mandaue City portion. So there's also an area here near the Macdo in Mandaue. Like it goes near Panagdait. That's where it's also usually very heavily congested, and it's also because like it's an intersection that's like going towards like North Reclamation, and then the other street goes towards SM, and like they're very, what do you call it, like they're very busy streets. So usually from 7:30 to 9 a.m. and 5:30 to 8 p.m. So this is like the rush hour good of the city. So it's because like there's an increasing number of vehicles, which also accounts for the traffic congestion and air pollution due to the carbon footprint of all the vehicles that travel along Banilad, Cebu City, and Banilad, Mandawi City. And the prevalent areas of Cebu City is UC Banilad and Country Mall area. Although this is not part of Banilad, it's in that area that makes like a congestion that also causes Banilad Town Center area and the overpass or intersection where Caltex is located to cause congestion, and then also in University of San Carlos Talamban campus. And then for Mandawi City, most of the establishments that have congestions is for Cebu Home Builders, for Oak Ridge, for Design Center of Cebu, the Space, Lightside, and Hernan Cortez intersection. So possible solutions would be traffic signals, introduction of traffic control, grade separation, road widening, mass transit network development, integrated road traffic management, and bottleneck clearance. And I will be passing the floor on to our group mate. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I be heard?
Yep.
Thank you, sir. So, one major problem in Mandaue City or in Cebu City in general is flooding. So, the Philippines is known to experience torrid temperatures, as we know. One of the many major issues, as what has been discussed so far, has its domino effect in Barangay Banilad as we speak. And flooding is one of them. And as it as this problem prolongs, it worsens caused by illegal dumping of garbage will result to clogging, which go backs and connects to the obstructions in waterways, as it put an effect to the road network, which relates back to what my group mate has tackled to traffic congestion. So as a result, moving at a snail's pace on the this is very relevant until now on the two bridges connecting Cebu mainland to Mactan's Island. Repair and as I've observed, repairing and rehabilitating the city's drainage system, especially in flood-prone barangays such as Look, Opao, Mapad, Cambaro, Centro, Subang Dako, and Pacnan. To add to some business establishments overlap with the city's drainage systems, and that was one of the reasons for the delay of projects to prevent flooding from happening. Hence, drainage systems for rehabilitation are no longer operational. They're being damaged by heavy trucks and unfinished drainage projects of the Department of Public Works and Highways. In addition, why uh, I've researched a article, and is what he said or she said, why there are buildings on the drainage. We have to do something for easy access and maintenance at any given time, and we can open and clear it So solution, so the solutions, design solutions for a problem in Barangay Banilad. One of them uh, are new suction truck that will be used to help clear flooding in these areas. 27 barangays were also given suction pumps and which dedicated the first remedy in the case of flooding. Water flow in the mentioned barangays is already being being looked at, and but if the illegal dumping of garbage would continue, then problems would still arise. And flood problem in CTU Superior in Barangay Lok has already been solved with uh, the newly completed road, which is uh, one of which is road widening, and the drainage system project has been managed. So aside from this, the construction of road concreting and drainage system in University of Cebu Lapu-Lapu Mandaue campus in Barangay Lok to Barangay Opao as we speak, it's still ongoing, and from the start of May 26, 2021. That's all. I'll pass it to Maria. Thank you.
Okay, good
Okay.
afternoon, sir. So for the last major issue in Barangay Banilad in Mandaue, both in Mandaue and Cebu City, is we have poor sidewalks. So the areas for sidewalks are cut off by parking area access for different commercial establishments. Like the picture on the right side, the first and the third and the fourth picture. So when people walk along the pedestrian, if the sidewalk, if there is a sidewalk, they are blocked by the entrances of these parking spaces. Aside from that, some areas have very little to no sidewalk, just like the one near the Lamban campus. So just like there in the second picture, that is for Cebu City. Similarly, for Mandaue City, it's also the same problem. So here we have in the AS Fortuna Road, you can see the wall of the building here is like near na jud sa path sa mga car. So wala na jud siya sidewalk, sir. So mo risk siya og kanang harm sa mga pedestrian. And then several areas, especially near the University of San Carlos, are improperly paved. So if makabantay mo across sa gate 2, sir, kaning naay sinangag station, kana dira na sidewalk kay guba na siya unya. It's very difficult to walk, especially when you're late for class, or like when you need to rush hours or bus, when you need to walk fast. And then walking along the sidewalks under the scorching heat and polluted streets make it very difficult for pedestrians, since gamay ra kayo ang vegetation around these areas. Kay there are, or I think most of these sidewalk areas are occupied by commercial establishments. So we have concluded three causes for these, and one is that there is a poor city planning from the start budget along these roads. Kay there is more attention given to the roads or to the cars and little for the pedestrians. Second is that there are developments in the area that makes the sidewalks even narrower. So na parts, I don't know if you have noticed, but there are parts along Talamban Road heading to TC nga wala na sidewalk because na mga sari-sari stores na nag-occupy ana kay nag-expand sila sa ilahang area. So one of the reasons pod na. And then there is also less vegetation, mao na murag dili kay siya comfortable to walk along these sidewalks kay wala siya sun shading. and yeah, so it's very hot. And then out of these problems, kay, um, we have been looking for solutions. Yeah, we found a roadmap study for sustainable urban development in Metro Cebu by Japan International Cooperation Agency. Um, this one says that uh, to solve the problems not only in Banilad, but I think this is applicable to the entire Cebu City nga, to provide a green loop. I think this was also mentioned in our class here earlier. Kanang there is a priority for sidewalks, bike lanes, and greenways in order to improve the conditions of the road, and this includes na po the sidewalks. And then in order also to address the um, problem with regards to the parking access, sir, that makes the sidewalks unwalkable kay himon siya again sa parking kay I also remembered in one of our discussions that it is not advisable to create these kanang straight gani, sir. So if ang facade sa imong commercial building dili siya dapat is straight, like it has to be planned properly para na siya ihang own entryway dili jud lang entire front, sir. So those are the top three nga mga major issues that we have seen in Banilad, both in Cebu City and Mandaue City, sir. And I think that is all for our presentation. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. So let's see here. Again, flooding and traffic, our number one violators in Cebu province, basically. Let's see. Just writing down notes on your presentation for our like individual scores. Okay, good, good. So this time I will present over here. I'm low battery. Oh, come on, yet there. Okay, there. Okay, it's very good. Let me change the viewer. How do I change the view here? Change the out to auto. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let me close this. And I have a few questions over here. I'll just use PowerPoint because it's the closest, it's the easiest to do like a Blackboard type situation. Let's use this one. So, talking about presentation, since the one from last Monday, that was from, or last Monday, that was starting with Co's group. This was the Mandaue, Kabangkalan, all the way to today in Barangay Banilad. Let me close that. I have a few questions I wrote over here. Hang on, let me just turn on the light. So I'll record this as another video. Hang on. Okay, yep.